Hello, algebra students. We're looking at long division again, polynomial long division that is. So we're going to do a few more examples, so let's get started. So we have this cubic polynomial divided by a binomial, and we start by our first term of our answer will be x cubed divided by x. The x cubed because it's the first term there, divided by x because of that. So that is x squared. We write it right there, and now when we take that x squared times x, we should get the same thing we have here, the x cubed, and we will. So let's take x squared times x plus 9. We get x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 9 is 9x squared. And then we're going to subtract that, right? Now today, I'm going to do these the other way. It's the same method, but instead of writing minus that quantity, I'm going to write down the negative of each of those terms. Okay, there's just two terms there. But as we write them, we'll just write the negative of the term, and then we'll be ready to add. We add that negative, that's the same thing as subtracting. So it's going to look like this. X squared times x is x cubed, but I write down negative x cubed. And x squared times 9 is 9x squared, but we write negative 9x squared. Just write the opposite, and then we just add these vertically. So x cubed plus negative x cubed is 0. 2x squared plus negative 9x squared, that's negative 7x squared. So I think this is just a more convenient way to do it. And now, it's not necessarily better. Whichever one you like best is the one you should use. In the last video, we did it the other way. That is the same way that I started out with on this one. So if you want to see examples of that way of doing it, just watch the other video. And this video will be an example of this this way, and you can decide which you like the best. You'll get the same answer. So we bring down negative 62x. Now we say, how many times does x go into negative 7x squared? Okay, that's negative 7x. And we can find that by saying, okay, this negative 7x squared right here divided by our x, okay? And that's negative 7x. So we now multiply negative 7x times x plus 9, that is. And negative 7x times the x is negative 7x squared. We write the opposite of that. We write positive 7x squared, because we're going to add the opposite. Okay, so negative 7x times 9, negative 63x. So we write positive 63x. Now we add vertically. We get the 0 here. We get x here. Okay, now we bring down the 16. What do we multiply times x to get x? That is, we take this divided by this. So that is 1. And take 1 times x plus 9. And we get x plus 9. But, of course, we write down 1 times x is x. We write negative x. 1 times 9 is positive 9. We write negative 9. Then just add vertically, and we get 0 plus 7. There's nothing left to bring down, so that's it. It's 7. And that's our remainder. And so that is our answer. And the other way of writing it is x squared minus 7x plus 1. And then that 7, that's the remainder. We add it as it's the numerator, with the fraction 7 over x plus 9. Okay, we add that fraction on at the end. Numerator 7 because it's our remainder, and denominator x plus 9 because it comes from over there. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Another cubic polynomial divided by the binomial x minus 1. Okay, so we have 4x cubed divided by x is what our first term will be, and that's 4x squared. That's the number that times x will give us the 4x cubed. So we take that 4x squared times x minus 1. 4x squared times x is 4x cubed. It's positive 4x cubed, so we write down negative 4x cubed. X squared times negative 1 is negative x squared, so we write positive x squared. Just write the opposite and then add vertically. So here we get our 0. Here we get, oh, I wrote down, I don't know if I said that right or not, but I know I wrote it wrong. Okay, let's go back. Oh. Gotta get my eraser. Okay, so this is what's wrong. Okay. Okay, so the 4x squared times x is 4x cubed, and we write negative 4x cubed. 4x squared times negative 1, that's negative 4x squared, so we write positive 4x squared. Okay, that's more like it. Now we add vertically. We do get the 0 there. We take negative 7x squared plus 4x squared is negative 3x squared. And we bring down 6x. Okay, so how many times does x go into our negative 3x squared? Well, that's negative 3x. Okay, and multiply that by x minus 1. Negative 3x times x is negative 3x squared, but we write positive 3x squared. Negative 3x times negative 1, that's positive 3x. We write negative 3x. And now just add vertically. We get our 0 here. We get positive 3x here. And now we bring down the negative 3. Okay, so how many times does x go into 3x? Well, that's just 3. And multiply. 3 times x is positive 3x. We write the opposite of that, negative 3x. 3 times negative 1, that's negative 3. Write the opposite, positive 3. Add vertically, we get 0 plus 0. So this time there is no remainder. There's nothing left to bring down. If we're done, and because this is zeros, there's no remainder, so this is it. Okay, so we have one more. Okay, and again, this is a cubic polynomial divided by the binomial a minus 10. So we're taking a cubed divided by a, and sometimes I say that as what is it that times a will give us the a cubed. You can think of it either way. Well, that's a squared. So now we take that a squared times a minus 10. A squared times a is a cubed. write the opposite, negative a cubed. A squared times negative 10 is negative 10a squared. And that is the opposite of that. Sorry, a squared times negative 10 is negative 10a squared. We write the opposite, positive 10a squared. Okay, and now we add that, and we get our 0, and we get positive a squared. And then we bring down the negative 2a. Okay, so now it's this a squared divided by a, which is a. And we take that a times the a minus 10. So a times a is a squared. We write negative a squared. A times negative 10, that's negative 10a, so we write positive 10a. Now we can add vertically. We get 0 plus 8a. And now we bring down 77. Or sorry, bring down negative 77. Okay. So it's now 8a divided by this a. So that is 8. And that's the number that times a will give us 8a. So it's 8. And so 8 times this a minus 10. 8 times a is 8a, but we write negative 8a. 8 times negative 10 is negative 80. So we write positive 80, writing the negative of each of those and now adding vertically, and we get 0 plus 3. So there's nothing left to bring down, so we're done. 3 is our remainder. That's the answer. And we can also write that a squared plus a plus 8, and then plus a fraction, which has that remainder on top, and on the bottom has that, which is a minus 10. And that's it. That's the other way of writing it. Okay, so these problems were similar to the others in the other video, but just really the method is the same, but we just write it down a little differently, writing the opposite of each term and then adding to get that number for the next step. So that's all for now.